On this episode of Weapons Wednesday, we'll be going over 4 different takes on the stealth weapons. So if you find that you love hiding weapons in your belt, or pulling daggers seemingly out of thin air, or just taking notes from ancient Shinobi, this video is for you. Plus, I was able to go a little bit extra and create a full-on fight scene for each one of the weapons, being able to show you how you could use them to protect yourself. So if that sounds fantastic to you, stay tuned. But while you're here, if you could like this video and subscribe to the channel, that would be awesome. First off, I just want to let you know that I hear you, and I'm going to try this video without my glasses, which also means I'm going to try to do this video without reading a script. In fact, this video will have a couple little things that are different here and there from the previous ones, just because I feel like upgrading is always a good thing. So if you find these upgrades really good, I want you to let me know down in the comments. And if you think they are terrible and they suck, also let me know down in the comments. That way I can make better and better upgrades as we go forward. But with that out of the way, let's get to the first weapon. The first weapon of the video is going to be the concealed wrist spike. This guy is going to be about 7.5 inches long, with 3.5 of those inches being the spike. And overall, it's going to come in at about 1 ounce, so it's not going to weigh you down at all. Personally, I found that the handle is a really nice length, simply because I can completely grab the handle without my hand touching the blade or even getting super close to it. And I have enough space to be able to put my thumb on the top, because when I'm using stabbing weapons, I really like having that ability to puncture and really dig into my targets, and having that stop there where my thumb is so it doesn't slide into the blade of the knife makes it all that much better. Now, at first glance, this may seem like a toy because it's not actually made of metal, but let me tell you, it is incredible and definitely not a toy. This is going to be a reinforced nylon construction from the back to the front, completely all the way through, making it one full Tang, which makes it incredibly strong just as is. Plus, you'd be surprised how strong nylon can be, especially when just stabbing into a target that may be attacking you. I mean, just filming the fight scene with the stab motions was incredibly scary, because I know that if it came to it, that would absolutely hurt. And in fact, Bobby, one of the fighters in that fight scene, actually got a little bit of a stab wound just because we went a little bit too fast. Don't worry about it. It's okay. But it definitely does puncture the skin without a problem. Plus, the fact that it's not made of metal has its own benefits that I'm not gonna touch with a 10-foot pole. The textured grip is also really nice. I don't feel it sliding around very much at all. And like I said, when you got the thumbprint, it's just staying in the hand exactly how I want it to be. It's not sliding around at all. That grip really does feel nice though. I don't know why this one feels so unique when compared to other grips. Like, it just, in my hand, it feels really nice. Which is a concern when it comes to non-metal weapons. A lot of them will not use any customized grip or special cloth or anything, and so a lot of them, if they're not built correctly, will slide around really easily. However, this knife, because of the grip, it doesn't really have that same problem, which is really a benefit. Now, the business end is a tri-tip blade. And for those of you that don't know, if you saw my last Weapons Wednesday, I talked a little bit about it, but tri-tip blades are incredibly dangerous. And in fact, double check your local laws, because tri-tip blades are actually illegal in some areas. That is because tri-tip blades can leave wounds that are more damaging and harder to stitch or fix up. You can't just put pressure on it the same way you could with a normal knife. That extra danger will make sure any attacker doesn't attack anyone else ever again, but it also makes it very dangerous and in turn illegal in some areas. And like I said, this guy comes with a nylon case that can either be strapped to your belt or with the ropes, or not the ropes, but the elastic straps can be strapped to the inside of your arm, hiding underneath the sleeve, allowing you to pull it from seemingly thin air. See what I did there with the part in the beginning? Now it's time for the fight scene, which I personally dubbed the Assassin Lola Bunny. I hope you guys enjoy.
I'm hunting rabbits.
Now it's time for our next weapon, the Hunter's Camo Butterfly Knife. Now I've covered several butterfly knives before, both on this channel and on my own, and butterfly knives are always really cool. I mean, they are really, they get the shock and awe reaction every time anyone pulls them out. However, this one you'll be able to use as your normal everyday to day carry simply because it actually is sharp. It comes out of the box sharp and ready to go, which means that one, I mean, you can use it out of the box for, your normal everyday knife things, cutting tape, opening boxes, opening letters, things like that. But it also means that you're not going to want to take it out of the box and just start swinging it around. You're going to want to be careful so that you don't hurt yourself or others. And as always, butterfly knives are not always legal, simply because it has a history of being associated with the mob and mafia since the 50s or 60s. And so because of that, there have been many laws in many different states that have different varying opinions on whether or not you can have this, or even if you can have it, whether or not you can use it for self-defense. So make sure to check your local laws before you get one. But if you can get one, this is an excellent one because this is going to be incredibly strong, made out of 440C stainless steel. And sticking with our stealth theme, it's going to come completely head to toe in the camouflage print, which I really like. Now, I have lived in the South for most of my life, and so I know for a fact there's a bunch of us that are just gonna love it based off of that camo print alone. It's also going to come with a clip point blade, meaning the blade on one side and it actually clips in like you took scissors to it. This will help when you retrieve the knife, keeping it from getting stuck in anything that you cut with it. And the latch on the end that keeps it locked is actually incredibly strong as well. And honestly, that's way better than the last or one of my other butterfly knives that I own that's super loose. This will absolutely keep it from opening up accidentally in your pocket, which is incredibly important considering that it's super strong. And a great way to pop it open is just using your thumb to pop it open, and then you can use the knife for whatever, knife uses you need. And you can even use that same latch to actually keep the knife open if you need it for a prolonged use. Maybe you're training with it, or you're cutting down box or cutting open box after box after box and don't want to deal with it jiggling around. You can keep it locked and open easily just like that. Now this knife is in total 8.75 inches and closes down to be a nice solid 5 inches. And for most people, that will allow you to hold it in your hands and still be able to use it as a self-defense weapon while it's closed for, the times when you don't want to stab anyone. And you can pop it open nice and easily for when you want to use the full 8.75 inches of length. 3.5 of those inches being the blade alone. And so if this weapon interests you, you can check this one out as well as all the others in links down below at KarateMart.com. So as we go through this video, if you find one that you really like, definitely check out KarateMart.com. But it's time for the next fight scene, and I haven't come up with a name for that one. So if you can think of a name for this fight scene, let me know in the comments. Now, before we jump into the next weapon, I just want to make sure you guys know about this week's poll. Now, I am the modern ninja, and I absolutely love all kinds of stealth weapons. They are just, I don't know, they're just special to me. And while I was filming this video, me and the other martial artists were having a conversation, and we couldn't figure out which of these stealth weapons were the most practical or most useful out of all of them in the current day and age, with the last weapon on this list causing the most debate. So check out the community tab and let me know which weapon you think is the most practical out of all 4 weapons. But let's get to that next weapon. Third on this list, we have the full Tang ninja sword. I did say taking a page from the Shinobi book. And traditionally, Shinobi would carry the wakizashi because it's shorter than the katana and allowed them to be more discreet about how they carried it, where they carried it, and how they traveled with it. And this guy is no different, with a total length of 27 inches and 17 of those inches being a blade. But first, let's talk about the sheath it comes with. This is going to be a soft nylon sheath that is still incredibly strong, just soft as in it's flexible, which is kind of nice because it has a back strap. So when it's strapped to your back, the sheath isn't going to dig into you like many wooden scabbards would. I tell you only out of experience. But taking the blade out shows us a really nice, clean, straight black blade with some kanji for design. And if you ask me what the kanji means, I couldn't tell you, but I absolutely love whenever they put kanji on swords because it just makes it look so much cooler. The blade in your hands is incredibly light, which is really nice because as a shinobi, you would be carrying this around and moving incredibly quickly. So this is not gonna weigh you down, but it's still gonna be able to do serious damage when you need to. That is because it's made out of about 12 ounces of stainless steel, which makes it incredibly durable and strong, able to cut through pretty much anything. Because as always, at least so far in these videos, I've noticed that pretty much everyone ships out the box, everything ships out the box sharp and ready to go, which is super cool that you don't have to buy like a sharpener or sharpening kit in order to use your weapon that you just got. And it's gonna come with a nylon cord Sago wrapping, and I'm not sure I'm pronouncing that right, so I'm sorry if I'm not, but on the handle, and that's gonna be a very similar wrapping to what you see on many Japanese katanas or other swords in this style. Personally, I think this sword is incredibly cool and I love having it added to the collection. Honestly, I really just love swords and I love adding swords to my collection. So if you feel like me, definitely consider adding this wakizashi to your arsenal. Now it's time for the fight scene, and I think they did a great job with this one.
Baby. Perfect.
Lastly, we have the hidden belt knife. This one-size-fits-all weapon is going to be a great addition to your wardrobe for those of you who like to pull out knives out of pretty much anywhere you could. Able to fit anyone up to a 48-inch waist. However, we're here for the buckle specifically because that part is the knife. It actually comes out of the belt itself. It's going to be a 3.5-inch stainless steel blade with a black finish, and it's full tang, meaning it goes through the entirety of the weapon. That serrated edge is also going to allow you to cut through relatively difficult things like rope or anything like that. But that black blade really goes well with the paka wood that is painted black for the buckle. Paka wood is an excellent wood for knives, used by many Japanese knife makers for its ability to be incredibly strong and durable for a very long period of time. It's actually a man-made wood for those of you that are wondering. And for the belt, it's going to fit in nice and seamlessly, having clips on the back like you see here that the belt will fit in to keep it secure. This belt isn't going anywhere by accident. I can shake it, like you're not gonna accidentally have this belt slide out. It's not even incredibly easy to pull out. So a small child wouldn't be able to just reach up and easily pull it out. But an adult should have no problem retrieving the knife when they need to use it. However, you're gonna wanna get used to practicing with this knife because, as you can see, it actually curves due to the belt buckle being obviously curved. Now that makes it a really nice belt, and you can still use the knife quite effectively with it. However, see, it stays in tight. However, you're gonna wanna get used to using this type of knife because as you stab, you're not gonna stab sideways, you're gonna actually stab at an angle. Personally, I think this can actually make a much better self-defense tool long-term should you get used to it. It'll add a little bit of weight to your hands that angle can allow you to cut really easily and really unexpectedly, so you could use it really well. And it makes for an excellent self-defense weapon, but you're just going to want to make sure you practice with it so it's not new out the box when you're using it for the first time to protect yourself. But as a martial artist, I would say that about any weapon. Anything you plan to use for self-defense, you need to train with consistently. If you use firearms, you need to be up to speed on your firearm shooting so you don't hurt others. If you're going to use even just a simple baseball bat that you hide under your bed, you still need to be comfortable using that bat and know exactly what it feels like to swing and hit something, whether that be living or not, with it. But as far as this belt, I've been wearing it actually day to day, and it's been really seamless. I've actually forgotten it was there, which is a good thing in the sense that it doesn't like hinder. It doesn't feel heavy. It doesn't feel awkward or itchy or pointy or pokey at any point. You can just wear it pretty comfortably regardless. And so in this fight scene, it depicts someone actually getting mugged and using it effectively to get free and win their encounter. And as a resident of Texas, I had to add a little bit of Texas flair, so I hope you like this one. Man, why am I always like martial arts? Yo, where'd you come
in your
from?
pocket.
Okay,
Whatever's in your
I
pocket,
got a wallet.
put it in my pocket.
I got a wallet.
Put it in my pocket now.
Here in Texas, you got belt buckles. Thank you guys so much for checking out this video. As always, all the weapons in this video will be linked in the description below, but make sure to check your local laws to be sure that you're able to use them, and if you are going to use them as self-defense weapons in your local area, whether that be a state, a town, a city, a country, whatever that is, make sure to check your laws. But you can get these and many others on KarateMart.com. So if one or two of these stood out to you, definitely go check out KarateMart.com because I'm sure a bunch of stuff on that site will be something right up your alley. But that's all I have for today. So until next time, my name's DJ the Modern Ninja, and I'll see you Weapons Wednesday.